Okay, so we are going to find the 20th and the 100th term. And I don't know about you guys, but it does not sound like a lot of fun to me to write out 99 terms just so I can get to the 100th term. So I'm going to show you how you can do this on your graphing calculator. And we are going to use the last and final mode on your calculator. So we've actually used all of the modes this year. So go to mode, and usually we're in function notation. We did parametric, we did polar, and now we are doing sequential. So once you go to your mode, you're going to highlight the sequential, and then go to your y equals. Whoa. And then I'm going to write these directions down so you have them, and then you can also watch the video later. Okay, so step 1, your mode needs to be in sequential. And then you're going to go to your y equals, not y equals 1, just y equals button. Okay, so it says the n min, okay? Your n min is going to be 1 because that's going to be where the sequence starts. And the sequence usually is going to start where? Remember we talked about this earlier? The sequence is usually going to start at 1, okay? So this is usually going to be 1. Okay, that's your n min. Now, the next one, that u of n, is going to be your equation. Okay, so equals, we're going to plug in our equation. And our equation for this one that we're plugging in, we have to plug it in a certain way. Okay, so the equation that we were given on our paper is a sub n equals 2a sub n minus 1 plus 5. I'm going to show you how to enter that in on your calculator, okay? So first I'm going to show you on here, the way that you're going to enter it in is you would do 2 and then parentheses, and you're going to do a u. This is a lowercase u. And you can find it by doing second and then the 7 button. And then in parentheses, n minus 1. This is your variable key. So on your variable key, do you notice how it says x, comma t, comma theta, comma n? It has 4 variables on there because how many modes do we have in our calculator? 4. And look, this is for function. T is for what? Parametric. Theta is for polar. And n is for sequential. So that's why all those are there. Okay, so that's your variable key. And then you have your plus 5. Okay, so let's see if we can do it. So we're going to do 2. And then parenthesis. So the lowercase u is right above the 7, so second 7, and then in parentheses our variable key plus 1, close, and then plus 5, close. Okay, and then the next one that says,
wait, why is it plus 1?
that, oh. It's not. It should be minus 1. Sorry. Thank you. Yes, it should be minus 1, just like there. Okay, and then the next one is u, and then it says n min. Okay, so u of n min. And this is actually function notation. So remember how this was the minimum was 1? Okay, so when we plugged in 1, what was our output? Yeah, what was a sub 1? 4. Okay, so because a sub 1 equals 4, okay, we plug in 4 with fancy brackets. And then I'll show you how to do your fancy brackets as well. So your fancy brackets are right above your parentheses. So I'm going to do second parenthesis, 4, second close parenthesis, 4. So now we have told the calculator everything it needs. We told it that at 1, the value or the output is going to be 4. This is the equation that we want to use. So now we can just go to second quit. And if I want to find u of 20 for the 20th term, I'm going to go to u, so second 7 of 20. Enter, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. And then I can do u, and the next one was 100. And you can write this answer in scientific notation because it is so big. Okay, so for u of 20, we are going to get 7,340,022. And then for the u of 100, we can go ahead and write it as 8.87 times 10 to the 30th.
Is this mode only for recursive?
No. No. We just entered in the recursive. Like you could just do the u instead of like the u minus 1.
Alright.
It's just, it saves. That's a good question. So, Jonathan just asked if, if this would work with a non-recursive formula, and yes, it would. The reason why we want to use it for the recursive formula is because we'd have to have the previous term in order to find 100. But did we need that to find 150 from the first page? No. So you could just substitute it in, and that would be probably quicker than even plugging it into your calculator. All right, and then the last thing we're going to talk about today is the Fibonacci sequence. Have you guys ever heard of the Fibonacci sequence?
Yeah, from that one TV show.
Oh,
Like
which one?
Prison Break or whatever.
What's it called?
Prison Break.
Oh, okay. So the Fibonacci sequence is a really famous sequence that is a recursive formula. And this actually, the recursive formula gives you 2 starting variables. So f sub 1 and f sub 2. And it's written with f because it's so popular. It gets its own variable. So the Fibonacci sequence is f sub n equals f sub n minus 1 plus f sub n minus 2. And then as part of your homework, what I want you to do is find out 2 interesting facts about how the sequence is used and then write them below. So there are a couple of interesting facts in your textbook, but I encourage you to explore the World Wide Web and see what you can come up with. And you're going to see a lot of similarities with the Fibonacci sequence in nature, and then we're going to talk about those on Monday after you guys have collected some interesting facts.